So this week was our rest week, recovery week, which means we dropped the total volume back to like, it was about 17 hours this week, but that gave us a chance to work on transitions, wetsuit, you know, putting it on and off really quick, as well as nutrition. It also gave me a chance to practice something. A lot of people have been telling me that in Ironman on the bike, like you don't actually stop and go into the toilets on the bike course. What you do is actually just pee on the bike. So I wanted to practice that to get really comfortable with it.
Let's have a party!
Training log number 10, so this is the 10th installment. Pretty cruisy week though, 17 hours, and of that 17 hours we had 4 hours in the pool, 6.5 hours on the bike, and the best part of 5.5 hours running. So all in all, that was broken up is 5 swims, 4 rides, 3 runs. Of those 5 swims, we had 3 of those standard sort of sets, you know, 50s and 100s. We had 1 2K non-stop swim, which we'll talk about later, and then we had just a quick wetsuit check. So that one was only like 700 meters, I think, just in the actual wetsuit. So all in all, pretty good week of swimming. We got up to 14 Ks in the pool. Of the cycling, we had 4 rides, all of those done at like a moderate intensity, so just putting some easy miles in the legs. Totaled out at 218 kilometers on the bike this week. And then we had 3 runs, which totaled out at 61 kilometers this week. And again, all moderate to easy runs. So all of our volume this week on the bike and the run especially was moderate to easy. So really cruisy, comfy aerobic paces. The swims, we still put some intervals in, but by and large, quite an easy week, even with 17 hours. Now starting out on Monday, we just went straight in with a 5K swim. So this is like our race specific set where there's no warm up. I'm just supposed to get straight into it, go hard, and then let myself sort of settle into it. In saying that though, you do start off with 8x50 with 10 seconds rest. So you're sort of going out hard and fast at the start, rest, and then get into it. It kind of makes sense because you do jump out hard and fast in a race, but you do get that 10 seconds rest there. So it's not a bad set really. We did 8x50, 4x300, 4x100, 2 500s, 4 300s, 850s, okay? So, you know, an interesting set, I guess, at least, but as well as that, we were able to get a good bit of volume in there. I'll put the paces up, obviously. And then Monday afternoon, we just had a pretty cruisy spin session. I just kept that one at 50 minutes. Average power was 130 watts, so truly an easy ride. Average heart rate 122 beats per minute. So just spinning the legs over. I don't even think I took it up to an hour because it was just an easy ride. I didn't need to push it too hard. That's one thing I'm trying to work on this week. A focus of mine was to actually end the week in a better place than when I started. I think sometimes I can get a bit carried away on recovery sessions. So moving on to Tuesday now, pretty simple, just a 90-minute bike ride in the morning. Average power on that one was a beautiful 170 watts. So really cruisy, 147 beats per minute is my heart rate. Just rolling the legs over, really. Bit of an aerobic base session, I guess you could call it, but nothing too crazy. Lunchtime, we shot down to the pool for a quick 2K non-stop. So I was pretty pleased with this one. So in previous weeks, I've done some longer swims and I've been doing like 155, almost 2 minutes per 100 in the pool, which, you know, I'm not a great swimmer, but I was hoping to go a bit faster than that. But after, what, 2 or 3 weeks now, I think we've been focusing on some longer intervals. I'm starting to see those paces drop. So this 2K non-stop, we averaged 145 per 100, which I was pretty happy with. If I can hold 145 per 100 in the Ironman swim, I'll get out in, I think, an hour, 6 minutes from memory, and that puts me in a pretty good spot for my age group at least. Then Tuesday afternoon, we just had that typical 45-minute weight session. So just went to the gym, a few weights there, mainly that injury prevention focus, which is working well because I've taken my average volume up to, you know, 20 plus hours a week and no niggles, no injuries at all at the moment. So not even going to touch wood. That's how confident I am. So this session must be working. We do it every week and haven't been injured yet. So jumping over to Wednesday now. Wednesday morning, just a 3.6K swim. Main sort of set in that one, 3x300, or 2 rounds of 3x300. So a bit of a longer swim as far as the reps. You know, we've often been doing 50s and 100s, so increasing that a bit more to Ironman specific work now. And then Tuesday afternoon, we just had a 2-hour easy run. So it's a classic from the coach. He loves putting in 2-hour recovery runs. So it's enthusiastic, but look, it builds a really good base. It makes an easy day like Wednesday. At least we're getting a good solid aerobic foundation because it's over 3 hours of total training for the day. And then if we move on to Thursday, now Thursday I had to travel down to Sydney for work and travel back, and you might remember from 2 weeks ago how much of an impact travel had on the actual training plan. So this one was planned as a 90-minute ride, but I just took it back to an hour because I did not want to repeat it 2 weeks ago where a bit of travel really wrecked my whole week. So took it nice and comfy, didn't want to push anything. I was feeling good. I probably could have done the whole session, but I didn't want to take any chances. This one was 170 watts, average heart rate 133 beats. So really comfortable, really rode within myself, got off that one and I knew that I hadn't overdone it, I hadn't overcooked myself, and I was going to be able to keep working out the next few days, which was more important than nailing that session. So that was the priority. It's a recovery week, so again, that was the focus for this week, was recovery. Friday, we had a 2.9k swim. I didn't change anything on this set, I just did what was planned, and that was a lot of 50. So it was 12 by 100, 8 by 50, 6 by 50, 4 by 50. So we did a few things like some minimum strokes as a focus in some of the 50s, odds and evens fast. So that was a good fun set, bit of speed work for the week. We didn't do too much other speed work really this week, so that was kind of our only threshold set, not only in the pool but anywhere really. Friday afternoon, just a 1 hour moderate run, which I was pretty happy with because we held about 5:03 per kilometre average, and that was with 151 beats per minute as the heart rate, just on that same course I always run on, which is like a slight downhill, slight uphill. So that was pretty good to get some undulation in there and still holding pretty close to what I would like to see race pace as, and feeling really comfortable with it. Saturday's long ride, so the weather here was pretty terrible throughout the week, so high winds, high rain, so I did that Saturday ride inside. Just 3 hours. I actually did 3 of the endurance specific workouts on Zwift, which I actually recommend checking out. If you look at TT Tune-Up, I think it was Endurance 2 and Endurance 3 on Zwift. Loads of fun. You essentially, if I have a look at the actual workouts, you're pretty much just doing like 5-minute build-ups from 150 watts for me to 200 watts. I think you then did about 10 seconds at 400 watts, so you shoot the lactate right up in your legs, and then you get another chance to recover, and you do like 8 or 9 rounds of that. So it's a good fun one. It actually felt really productive in only 3 hours of training, and I knew it wasn't going to carry on too much fatigue for the next few days. So 3-hour aerobic ride, nice and cruisy. The other workout we did do on a Saturday, it's not really a workout, it was just a social run that I did with a few mates down near the beach. So that's one thing I haven't had a chance to do since sort of starting, Ironman prep, is do any kind of fun runs or any workouts just for enjoyment off the program, because if you've got a 6-hour ride and a 20-minute run on a Saturday, you don't have much time to fit in anything else. So jump down, that was actually it's a fun one because it's about 5k, but it's all uphill or downhill. So it is actually a really good strength session for the legs, but it's all run at a conversational pace, just having a chat with some friends. So nothing crazy there. And then that takes us to Sunday, so today. Last day of the week, we just had a 2-hour run this morning, which I think was about 5:20 per kilometre as the average pace. 5:20 per kilometre with the average heart rate 146 beats per minute. Again, I just picked a pretty undulating run course just to try and manage effort going uphill and downhill. One thing I have done, and I did it in a half marathon, it's probably one of the best races I've done, was I took a focus on recovering uphills and then attacking downhills. So this is running, not so much cycling, but trying to back it off going up the hill to let yourself recover and then attack fast down the hill. My theory was that going up the hill, look, you're going pretty slow anyway, so you might as well just take it back one gear and give you a chance yourself to recover, and then go hard as you can on the downhills, because it's not like the difference between effort of going medium pace on the downhill versus flat out is really that different. So it's one tactic I like to use, and it's definitely something I'll do in the Ironman Australia race, because there is one, moderate hill, I guess you'd call it. It's not crazy. Most of the course is really flat, but I'm just going to try and use the uphill as a recovery session, and then downhill attack, and then you try and carry that momentum for you as long as you can on the bottom of that hill. And then the last session we had of the week after that run, that was just a 500 meter wetsuit check basically. So I just chucked the wetsuit on for a few laps, jumped in the pool, I think I was actually pretty happy because of the 500, we held like a 1:33 per 100 pace. So the wetsuit definitely makes you quite a bit faster, but in a heated pool, it makes you quite hot as well. So I had to take it off and swim a few laps as well to literally cool down after that. But that's it for the week. So a pretty cruisy recovery week, nothing crazy, barely any intensity in it. But the good thing is that I'm feeling really fresh now. I can see one more week on the training plan, and then coach hasn't put up the rest of the weeks yet up to Ironman, but next week's going to be back up again, just probably another 22, 23 hour training week full of intensity. Be interesting to see if we start the taper from there, if we maybe do one more week hard. But yeah, there's really only, from this moment on, we've got 4 weeks of training until Ironman Australia. So honestly, I wish the race was tomorrow. I feel fit, I feel ready to do it, but maybe we'll be able to tune up just a little more finely over the next 4 weeks. But I'm feeling good, I'm ready to race. Next week's gonna be fun. That's it.
This is Blues Power.